Good morning and welcome to another day of learning with Miss Tia. We have a few days to add onto our calendar because it's been a couple days since we last saw each other. So Friday was the 24th. That means Saturday was number 25. And Sunday, yesterday, was number 26. So that makes today April 27. And we are almost done with this month. Friday will be the very first day of May. Oh my goodness, where has this month gone to? Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning to Kaya. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning to Colton. Hi, Colton. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning to William. Hi, William. Good morning to you. All right. Today we're going to do a little bit of building some letters today. So you'll need to get your sticks out, your popsicle sticks, or your markers. Remember, you can use markers as well to make your letters, or crayons. Usually markers and then crayons because they're a little shorter for your short sticks. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead. Alright, so we are going to start with our letter A. How many lines do we need? We need two big lines and one little line here in the middle. So we're going to take our two lines here, put them together, connecting at the top, and we're going to take and put our little line here in the middle. Now, we're going to do a little magic trick here. We're going to turn this A into the letter H without removing or adding any of the sticks, okay? So what we're going to do is I'm just going to do, ready? Here we go. We're just going to move these two lines. Whoop, look there. Boom. We just did a magic trick. We turned our letter A into the letter H just by moving the sticks just slightly. So if we turn it back to an A, we're just going to put these to a diagonal. Boom. Look there. How fantastic is that? All right. So let me show you if you're using markers. Okay. I'm using sticks, and if you're using popsicle sticks, then that's great too. Use markers. So your markers are your long lines, and your crayon is your small line. Okay. So if you take and you change this into letter H, you're just going to take these diagonal lines here, the slanted lines, and we're going to just turn them into straight lines. That's all you're going to do. Ta-da! Look at there. Perfect. All right, let's move on to the next one. So the next letter we're going to make is the letter Y. The letter Y. So we have one big line and one little line. Okay? So if you're doing this with your crayons and your markers, alright, if you're doing this with your crayons and your markers, you would just use the crayons for your little lines and your markers for the big lines, okay? So we make our letter Y, just like that. Ta-da! Alright, so now, if we're going to turn this Y into an X, how many lines do we need to add? One little line right here, right? To turn this Y into an X. Okay? So I'm going to use my crayon again. And I'm going to, ta-da, turn it into an X. There you go. Alright, so if we're using our sticks, popsicle sticks, you would take your lines and just cross them over, right? Two diagonal lines for letter X. Alright, go ahead and clear your board. We're going to make the letter N. The letter N. How many lines do we need for our letter N? We need one big line, two big lines, three big lines. Three big lines for our letter N. All right, so one straight line, a diagonal line, and a straight line for our letter N. Right, there we go. Now, how can we change our letter N into an M? Into an M. How many lines do you think we need to add? So we have 1, 2, 3 already. So we have 1, 2, 3. We need to add one more line on there, don't we? All right. But where are we going to put it? Do I just add it on there like this? No, we're going to have to fix these just a little bit, right? Because it's kind of like a letter V in the middle, and then we have our two straight lines, right? There we go. So we fix our letters there a little bit, and we have to add in our straight lines. So now we have our letter M. M. All right, let's go ahead and clear this again. And we're going to make the letter V. How many straight lines do we need for our letter V? We need two long lines, right? Two big lines. Okay? So remember, we always start here at the top and work our way down. So they kind of connect here down at the bottom. Okay? Two straight lines. Remember, V is not curved line. That's our letter U. So make sure that when you're making your letter V, they are straight lines. Okay? Straight line, straight line. All right. Now we're going to take this V and change it into a W. A W. So we already have part of our W here. Remember, it makes two V's connected at the top to make a letter W. All right, so I'm just going to put this over just a slightly. There we go. And then I'm going to add my other V here next to it and connect it up here at the top. So there is my W. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Good job. Hopefully you're having fun making these at home and then you're getting them right. Once you know how to make or build the letter, it makes it easier when you go to write them if you have the picture in your mind of what it looks like. Okay? All right. So the next one is going to be a three-part. We're going to change one letter into a second letter and then into a third letter. So we're going to start with the letter F. The letter F. So we need our one big line and we need two little lines, right? One on the top and one in the middle. One on the top and one in the middle. Now, let's see, go on the top and one here in the middle. Now, do you think you know what the next letter is going to be? What letter can we change this into by adding one little line at the bottom? Did you guess the letter E? Good job. All right, so we just need to add one little bitty line down here at the bottom to change it into the letter E. Good job. All right, so now I'm going to challenge you. If we take two of the lines away, what letter can we build? We're taking two lines away. What letter? I'm going to take the one in the middle and the one on the top, and we have made the letter L. The letter L. We've made the letter L. Good job. Fantastic. All right. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to take these and see if you can turn it into the letter T. The letter T. So what we need to do is we need to take this one and move this over, the big line over, and we're going to take our little line and put it up at the top, make our little top there. So we have our letter T. Now if we add a little line at the bottom, we can turn it into the letter I, the letter I. Alright, so I'm going to add my little line down here at the bottom, and I've turned it into the letter I. Woo, exciting. All right, fantastic. All right, so what we're going to do next, we're going to do a little bit of measuring. So I've grabbed a few things that we're going to measure with. So if you need to pause the video and grab a few things, we're going to do some standard and non-standard measuring. So I have, let's say, this is a straw. and I want to know how long the straw is. There's different ways that I can measure. A standard way of measuring would be to use a ruler. Now you might not know what a ruler is yet. A ruler is something that has a little stick here and it has numbers at the top. And it's a standard way of measuring. It's a specific amount between each number and we use that to measure. So we're going to use a ruler, but we're also going to use some ways that are not standard, such as using some blocks. How many blocks long is our straw? Or we might use, I have these little bitty monkeys here. How many monkeys long are they? Okay, so we're going to do a few different ways of measuring, and what's important is that you use the same thing so that it's the same, just like our ruler has a specific amount of inches in between, or little lines, a specific amount of measurement. That's why it's important we use the same number for each one that we're doing. How many hearts, okay? So I'm not going to mix hearts and monkeys because they're not the same length, okay, or the height. So we want to make sure we use the same thing. So you can grab a few things and you can practice doing some measuring at home. You can use a ruler if you have one of these at home, or a tape measure, or you can use some non-standard ways of measuring as well, okay? So we're going to do our little paper straw here. And first, we're going to measure how many little monkeys long is our straw. So I'm going to put my monkeys starting at the bottom here, and we're going to line them up from head to toe down until we get to the other end of the straw. So you'll see this a lot in kindergarten, where they will ask you, how long is whatever it is that you're measuring? And they might say, how many monkeys long? Or how tall is the giraffe? And how many paper clips does it take to measure the giraffe? So this is great practice. And it's also great for counting too. Alright, so I have my monkeys here. And he kind of goes to the end. Hey, kind of equal right there. Perfect. Alright, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 monkeys long. So I'm going to write this down. Our paper straw. So the straw is 7 monkeys long. Okay? So it's 7 monkeys long. Alright, let's see how long it is using our blocks. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh my goodness, that's about equal too. Holy, wow. Alright, so about 6 blocks long. So our straw is either 7 monkeys long or 6 blocks. Okay, so we have 7 monkeys or 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks. And let's try one more thing. We'll use our little hearts here. Alright, so I'm going to line these up. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Looks like we're going to have more than 6. 6. Oh, we need some more. 7, 8. I think we need one more maybe. And 9. So about 9 hearts. Wow. 9 hearts long. Alright, so our paper straw here is 9 hearts long, or 7 monkeys, or 6 blocks long. So depending on what you use as a measurement, it may be more or less. So our hearts are a little smaller, so they take more. Our monkeys are just a little bit bigger, so they take a little less, and then of course our blocks are even bigger, so it takes even less. So, all right, let's move on to something else here. We'll measure something else. Let me take my blocks away. So it's good to practice. Now you have to line them up carefully in a line. So it might be hard for some of you to measure in a line. So that's why it's good to have something that you can measure. Okay. So next we're going to do how tall is my giraffe. Okay. So this for my monkeys, because my monkeys can't stand on top of each other. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay down the giraffe when I do that. So for now, I'm going to use my blocks. And let's see how tall my giraffe is with the blocks. So 1, 2, 3. Do you think we need more? I think so. We're not quite there to his head yet. 4 and 5. Now the blocks are just a little bit taller than our giraffe. So we could say it takes about 4 and maybe half of one of our blocks. So 4.5 blocks for our giraffe. So our giraffe will say blocks is 4.5 blocks. Alright. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay my giraffe down. That way I can do my monkeys and my hearts. Alright. So we're going to the top of his head down to his feet. Alright, so I'm going to measure. Here's the top of his head. So 1, 2, 3. Ooh, about 3 monkeys. Maybe 3.5. Oop. Maybe like his head. 3 monkeys and the half of another monkey to make his head. So 3.5 monkeys. 3.5 monkeys. Alright, how many hearts do you think? Now remember, our hearts are a little bit smaller, so it might take more of the hearts, because the monkeys are a little bigger than the hearts, and of course our blocks are bigger than our monkeys. So it takes less blocks, more monkeys, and even more hearts. So let's try doing our hearts. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, 5.5 hearts. Look at there. 5.5 hearts. Alright, so for our giraffe, we have 5.5 hearts. So that means we would cut our heart in half, because we don't need the whole entire heart. We have our monkeys, which was 3.5 monkeys, and then we had 4.5 blocks. So our blocks are a little bit bigger in size, so they take the least amount. And then our monkeys are a little bigger, so they take more, and then the hearts have even more because they're the smallest, okay? Alright, so let's do one more thing here. And then I have a fun experiment for us to do. Alright, so I think I'm going to do my little car here. I don't actually, is this a car or some kind of spaceship or something like that? Some kind of toy. So what we're going to do is how big, how long is it from the top, or the tip to the bottom? Alright, so we're going to use our blocks here, so I'm going to measure them up. So we have 1, let's bring it out some, 1, 2, 3, and 4. I think 4, yep, 4 blocks. So 4 blocks is how long our purple car here is. So if we have 4 blocks, how many monkeys do you think? It's going to be more, right? Because the monkeys are a little bit smaller than the blocks. So it should be more than 4 for our monkeys. Well, let's see if we're right. So remember, we lay them down. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, and it looks like I need 1 more monkey to make 5. Let me turn that here for a second. Alright, so we got 4 blocks or 5 monkeys. Let's see how many hearts that equals. So are we going to have more hearts or less hearts? And remember, we're going to have more hearts because they are smaller than our monkey. So I'm going to line them up here. Maybe I'll do it on this side here. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have about 6 hearts. So our little dude here in our flying machine, it takes 4 blocks, 5 monkeys, or 6 of the hearts long. Now if we do them with our ruler here, we always start here at the end of our ruler and we measure from 1 to the bigger number, okay? So what we're going to do is I'm going to take each one of these and see how long it is using our standard measurement, okay? So using our blocks or our little monkeys, those are non-standard, okay? But we can still use them to measure because they are the same length or height for each one. They don't change. Alright, so when I use my ruler here, I'm going to start here at the 1. So I'm going to put him here at the end, like so. And I'm going to measure down to his wing, right? So how long is our car? So I can see it here. I'm going to measure it out. Remember, we're going to about his wing, and tip of his wing here. So it's about 4 and a half. So here's the middle here. So here it goes 4, and here's our 5. So the midpoint here means it's a half. So 4.5 inches for our car. Let's try our giraffe and see how tall our giraffe is. So again, we start with the 1 here at the bottom, and we're going to go up to his head up here, the top of his head. How long or how tall is our giraffe? Let me turn it around here so I can see real quick. So he's about, oh man, everything's going to the half. So he's about 3.5 inches tall. 3.5 inches tall. Alright, and let's finally see our little straw here. Now this one is going to be the tallest, right? Because if we put them all together, let's put this up like this. Which one is the tallest? Our straw is going to be the tallest. So our straw should be higher than 3 or 4 inches. Okay? So let's put this next to my 1, and we measure where, oh man, it goes way up there. That is a number, oh, that's even a half, isn't it? Not quite to the 8. So 7.5 inches. Oh my goodness, that is so tall. So you might be interested in going around and measuring things. And if you have a ruler, you can use a ruler. If you have a tape measure, you can use a tape measure. And you can just go around and start measuring things. This is to inches. So that would be, remember, from 0 to 1 is an inch, 1 to 2 is another inch. So remember, you count up. So it goes all the way to 12. This is 12-inch ruler. Okay. So you can go around and you can start measuring different things in your house. You know how when you go to the doctor, they like to measure you and see how tall you've gotten. And they use something similar to this, where you stand on the scale and then they put a thing like this on your head and they measure you. So you can even do that. Maybe you have a spot at home where your family likes to measure you and see how tall you've grown. Okay? All right. So I would like to do a little experiment with you today. So next week, we are going to start doing some science in our videos. So just to get you a little excited, I couldn't wait till next week. So I'm going to do a little bit of science today, and we will check on it in a couple of days. So if you can see back here on my board, it says what happens to the shell of an egg when you soak it in vinegar. Now this is usually for like dental health week. You show how acids and things could get on your teeth and eat away at the enamel of your teeth. That's why it's important to brush them all the time. So an egg has a similar coating. The shell is similar to your teeth, okay? How it can be eroded away, eaten away at when certain acids or things build up on it, and it can eat away at your teeth. And that's how you get cavities, and you have to go to the dentist, and they have to drill and fill it. It's a whole thing. So anyways, we're going to take an egg, and you can do this at home too. I just have just a regular egg that I took out of the refrigerator. I'm going to put it into a container here. I'm doing one with a lid because we're using vinegar, and vinegar kind of has a strong smell, so it'd be kind of probably be better if you don't have to smell the vinegar. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my egg inside of my container, and then I'm just going to take some vinegar, and we want to cover the egg. So until the egg is covered, we will stop with the vinegar. So I'm going to pour in my vinegar until my egg is completely covered. So see, it's down there on the bottom. And then I'm just going to put my lid on top of my container. So there we go. We got an egg inside some vinegar. Now I'm going to leave this overnight, and you can too. So if you would like to try this experiment along with me, all you need is a container, an egg, and some vinegar. Now remember, the egg needs to be completely submerged. That means completely under the vinegar. It means no part of it sticking out. We don't want it to be lopsided. So we're going to check on this tomorrow for our next video, and we'll see how far it's come along, and then we'll check on it again. It usually takes a couple days, and we're going to see what happens to our egg. And if you're doing this experiment at home, which I hope you are because it's really fun, you can take the egg out of the vinegar in a couple days. So you can, it's really cool to play with and like see what's inside the egg without the shell. Alright, so we're going to take a look at this in our next video. And so until tomorrow, I will see you in our next video. Bye-bye.